The leader of a party that's got Brexit in its... Well, it's the only part of its name. You are the Brexit party. And Nigel Farage, lovely to see you again. I mean, a sort of simple question. We've got a government that says it's committed to delivering Brexit, so why create a party that seems explicitly designed to blow up the Tory party and blow up the government?
Because what they're offering is not Brexit. It's the kind of deal that you'd only sign if you'd sort of been defeated militarily. I mean, it's a complete surrender. We pay away huge sums of money. We're potentially stuck with a situation where we have to stay in the customs union or allow the integrity of the United Kingdom to be challenged. It simply isn't Brexit.
But how is what you're doing going to lead to Brexit? It's just going to sort of create more confusion and mayhem.
Oh, no confusion. This is dead simple. We want a clean break Brexit. That's what people voted for. We voted for it in the referendum. Player in that referendum said leaving meant leaving the single market and leaving the customs union. It could not have been clearer. And so what we're going to do...
But it's gesture politics. I mean, you know, you'll be turning...
Oh, this is not gesture politics. Please believe me. This is far from that. I am not looking for people to go out on May the 23rd and stick two fingers up at the establishment. Tempting, of course, though that is. This is the first step in a much, much bigger, much more ambitious project. Do you know, we're never going to get the Brexit we voted for with this current Parliament. So we need to change the kinds of people that are sitting in the House of Commons, and we will go on from the European election. We'll fight by-elections and general elections.
But you haven't got more than a single policy for the European. So why? I mean, how can we be confident that you're going to have anything more to offer than a single policy?
Whether you're a self-governing democratic nation or not strikes me as being more than just a policy. It's essential for who we are as a country and for the way the rest of the world views us.
But you've got such a sort of hodgepodge of candidates. You're never going to be able to come up with a coherent manifesto.
This question of whether we should be an independent, self-governing nation crosses all political divides, and everybody focuses, oh, the damage that the Brexit party will do to the Tory party. Well, I'll tell you what, in South Wales, the Midlands, the north of England, areas like that, will do just as much damage to the Labour vote too.
Why aren't you personally going to stand in this forthcoming by-election?
But that would mean me leaving the national campaign that's still got 15 days to go. That wouldn't be very intelligent. I'm leading the Brexit party into a national election. We intend to win it. We're going to try and win it big. And if we do, it's going to have big implications for the future of British politics.
And just, I mean, there are people who say you are scared of standing in parliamentary by-elections.
I'm sorry. 4 weeks ago, I launched a party. It was rather like a jack-in-the-box that the Brexit party appeared. We're leading in the polls. We've now got over 90,000 people have paid 25 quid to subscribe to it. I'm going to keep going for the next fortnight, absolutely.
Now, you say you want to shake up the establishment. You want... you haven't told us who's funding you.
I find your question quite extraordinary. I've answered it once already. Let's try it again. 90,000 individuals who live in this country in the last 4 weeks have paid us £25 to become registered supporters of the Brexit party.
But you've also conceded that you've had some big... you've also conceded you've had some big donations.
You're an economist. You can do the calculations.
Sure.
That's over £2 million.
Sure.
I said we'd receive one big donation of £100,000.
Right.
I can now tell you, today, we've received several more. All right?
OK,
and
all of them... But why not tell us who they're from?
And all of them have been reported to the Electoral Commission, and they will tell you who they are.
But you want to do things differently, so tell us who they are.
Why is it that you commentators can't see there is something remarkable going on here? We are raising...
No, I'm not remotely saying it's not remarkable. Of course it's important, and of course it's remarkable. But I'm asking a separate point.
Well, I tell you what. Every single other party in this election will do what we're doing. I hope they'll abide by the law, and Elcom will publish the numbers.
OK.
But why you're...
We're going to get regularly. I've got loads
on this big story.
I'm not turning...
You are.
Do you think we're having you here, and we're talking about the big issue, so we are absolutely not turning our backs on this issue. But we've got lots more to talk to you about. I've got one more question on the money, which is just to be clear. I think you said you've had no money from Aaron Banks. Is that still the case?
That's right.
And is that because you're embarrassed to be linked to him still?
He is still busy dealing with a whole series of false allegations made during and since that referendum. And frankly, the way the Remain side have behaved through all of this has been a disgrace. He's been cleared already with the Electoral Commission, the judge at the end of that case, court case, saying no dishonesty at all was attempted.
Sure.
He's still got other appalling accusations to get off his back.
So have you said you don't need his money, or he says he's too busy to give you money?
at the moment, he has got to get rid of some of those vile, untrue allegations that were made against him.
Thank you, Robert. Well, as we can see, Nigel Farage is back and doing extraordinarily well in the polls, with the Brexit Party predicted to come top in the European elections. But one tweet did catch my eye that I thought was interesting. This is Tory peer Danny Finkelstein. I think it is a reasonable, although not infallible, strategic calculation that the more votes the Brexit Party gets, the less likely Brexit is. Now, why might he think that? Well, perhaps it is what is known as the Farage paradox. Now, that was coined in 2014 by one of our favourite geeks, Sunda Katwala, who looked at the support for UKIP, which was then Nigel Farage's party, and for whether or not people approved of the EU in green or disapproved of it in red. And what was interesting is that while support for UKIP rose sharply, here you can see, Euroscepticism overall fell. Now, the question was, why was this happening? And the claim was that while Farage was hugely popular with his own base, he could be a turn-off for softer Eurosceptics and don't-knows. And apparently it was one of the reasons that Tory Douglas Carswell left his party to join UKIP to try to change its image before the referendum. Now, I have to tell you, Douglas Carswell and Nigel Farage are not friends before I show you this, but I'm still going to show you this. Douglas Carswell says the paradox is back, and he tweeted a Comres poll that says since the Brexit Party arrived, it's had the largest Remain lead in any Comres poll. Robert.
That's interesting. So I do want to actually talk to you about that, because I think earlier you were saying that the British people voted effectively for a hard Brexit, but that's not true, is it? 48% voted to remain, and a good proportion of those who voted for Brexit did not vote for the sharpest
The terms
Brexit.
hard and soft Brexit were never used once in the referendum campaign. They've been dreamt up since by people.
But if you want to be a party in government, shouldn't you try to bring the country together, rather than simply say, you've got a particular vision of a rupture?
I think the very, very strong view of the country is, let's do it, let's get on with it, let's get on with the rest of our lives. So leaving with a clean break Brexit would do that, because people would find all these supposed imagined fears would not be real.
You said on American television that George Soros is the greatest threat to democracy in the West.
To nation-state democracy, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, he supports all the projects that want to break down the nation-states as independent, democratic models. Goodness me, he's been funding the Remain campaign in this country, as he does similar movements right across the Western world.
So just to be clear, but, you know, it's a sort of slightly nebulous concept, nation-state. So you don't think he...
Sorry,
for example... No, what I mean by...
So
what
you think the nation-state's a nebulous concept?
No, I don't think that. I don't think the nation-state is a nebulous concept. It's a very clear concept. But you don't think that what, for example, somebody like Putin does is undermining confidence in the way that, you know, the government of America would operate or the government of the UK would operate, and that in itself is a threat to the nation-state.
Nation-states do undermine each other, and they've been doing it for a very, very long time.
But who's better or worse, Putin
the point I was making was
Soros?
This. Very few people even know the name Soros living out there in the real world, and this is the one guy who has spent, so far, over $20 billion trying to influence policy, and he's doing it in our country, and we should be aware of it.
I do want to put this to you. There are lots of people who say that some of the attacks on Soros are disguised anti-Semitism.
Which is a complete and utter tosh, but clearly a way.
No, hang on.
Clearly
You've got to
a
accept
way
that some
of
of them are. I'm just trying to check.
Clearly a way of trying to close down debate on a very important subject.
No, it's plainly an important subject, and there's always important subjects to talk to you about. It's a joy to have you on as ever, and doubtless we'll be talking again soon.
A couple of weeks' time.